Okay, I'm back with the School-Based Therapist Self-Assessment Guide, and I'm going to move on to the goal setting and long-term planning quiz. So this should be a good one for me. So we know for school-based therapists, goal setting and long-term planning is really important to help us provide direction and reduce stress. So let's get started. How often do you set professional goals for yourself? Yearly, monthly, and weekly. Yearly or monthly, don't review them. I set goals occasionally. I'm a D. Noticed I answered D a lot on these chapters. What is your approach to achieving long-term goals? I break down goals into smaller steps. I set aside time each week. I work on them when I have extra time. I find it challenging. I work on them when I have extra time. How do you track your progress towards goals? I use a planner, a digital tool. I keep a mental list. I don't have a formal tracking system. I struggle to keep track. I do keep a mental list. How often do you review and adjust your goals? Monthly or more frequently, every few months, occasionally only if I need to. How do you approach goal setting for student outcomes? Okay, when I was working in school-based therapy, I set specific measurable goals and tracked their progress regularly, general goals, daily progress. I was a big SMART goals, tracking progress, data collection nerd. All right. How do you manage goals that require collaboration with other staff? I plan regular check-ins. I informally check in but don't have set times. This was me, B. How do you balance long-term goals with daily demands? I schedule dedicated time in my weekly routine. I work on long-term goals when I'm caught up. I find it challenging. I often delay. I'm a B. What is your approach to personal and professional growth goals? I set growth goals each year and review them. I set goals occasionally. I consider growth goals. Okay, right now, I rarely set growth goals. But when I was a school-based physical therapist, I did set them each year, but I was required to. How do you feel about your current long-term planning approach? Confident, satisfied, I manage. I would say I manage because I do accomplish a lot. So, when do you usually think about setting new goals? Start of each year, semester, major project. Periodically, when I have extra time, I don't have regular schedule. New school year or new calendar year. Always feels like a good time for me. All right, what did I get mostly of? I was really varied on this one, but it was also kind of in between of when I was working as a school-based physical therapist and how I am now. I'm going to say between B and C, I think. So I'm goal-oriented and proactive, not currently in my life. I have a good sense of direction with my goals, but a bit more struggle. But structure could make a big difference. Set regular time to assess my progress. I would say that's true. Focus on high impact goals. Create visual reminders. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea for myself. All right. Or at least put it in my phone to set it. Mostly C's, goal-oriented but need structure. I set monthly goals, designate goal time, and use a tracking tool. I don't know if I need to use the tracking tool, but setting monthly goals would be helpful. I'm just going to read D in case. Start small. This I really could do. Set one achievable goal. Simple tracking, a basic checklist. That would be helpful. I actually think this is probably the most helpful tips for me. Starting small, simple tracking, monthly reflection. All right, next chapter is on documentation. So we'll see how that goes. You can check this out at your therapy source or on Amazon.